You're late for your arrest, cheater.
I wake to a whisper that isn't a voice. Carpet sighing under boots that shouldn't be in my hallway. 3 men. Cheap cologne. Expensive nerves. They wanted a sleeping accountant. They found what came before the numbers. The power's out. Rain hammers the windows like bullets on tin. Perfect weather for this kind of work. I roll off the mattress, bare feet finding cold floorboards. 16 years of marriage taught me Lila's breathing patterns. The bed beside me is empty. Has been for hours. First man takes the stairs. Heavy, clumsy, amateur. Second man stays by the front door. Lookout, smart enough. Third man checks the kitchen. Glass clinks, searching drawers. Not a robbery then. Something else. I slide along the wall, muscle memory guiding me through my own house in the dark. SAS training doesn't fade like old paint. It seeps into your bones, stays there forever. The hallway man reaches the top step. His breathing is loud, nervous. He's got something in his right hand, a sap, maybe a knife. Doesn't matter. In 3 seconds, it won't be in his hand. I move, arm around his throat, cutting off the scream before it starts. His weapon hits the carpet with a soft thud. I don't squeeze hard enough to eliminate, just hard enough to make him remember this moment for the rest of his life. He goes limp. I lower him gently. Kitchen man hears the thump upstairs, calls out softly. Tommy? No answer. He starts toward the stairs. I'm already moving down the back way, through the utility room. House advantage, know every creaky board, every squeaky hinge. I take him from behind as he reaches the staircase. Same hold, same result. 2 down. Front door man is getting nervous. He's checking his watch, shifting his weight. When his partners don't respond to his whispered calls, he makes the worst decision of his night. He comes inside. I wait behind the kitchen door as he passes. His flashlight beam cuts through the darkness, hunting for his friends. When he finds the first one sprawled on the stairs, I step out behind him. Looking for someone? I say. He spins, flashlight in one hand, crowbar in the other. Big man. Bigger than me? Doesn't matter. Size is just physics, and physics has rules. I step inside his swing, deflect the crowbar with my forearm, and drive my palm into his solar plexus. He doubles over, can't breathe, can't think. The crowbar clatters away. Sit down, I tell him. We're going to have a conversation. He sits. I zip tie his hands behind his back. Military-grade restraints. I keep a pack in the kitchen drawer. Old habits. Who sent you? I ask. He shakes his head. Loyal. Stupid, but loyal. I search his pockets, finds a burner phone. 3 missed calls from the same number. I scroll through the message history. My blood turns to ice water. The last message, sent 2 hours ago. Make it look like a robbery. Make sure he suffers and begs for mercy. The sender. Honey, Lila. I stare at the screen until the letters burn into my retinas. 16 years, 2 miscarriages, a mortgage. Joint tax returns. Shared dreams that withered somewhere between year 7 and year 12. The phone buzzes. New message. Status update. Is it done? I look at the man on my kitchen floor. He's watching me with the kind of fear you can't fake. Waiting for me to do something terrible, something permanent. Instead, I type a response. Job done. Bring the rest of the cash. Send. 3 minutes later, car tires on wet gravel. Headlights sweep across my front windows. I move to the living room, keeping low, keeping quiet. The front door opens. Lila steps inside, Louis Vuitton handbag clutched tight. Behind her, Colin Vance, my business partner, my friend for 8 years. Make sure he's really dead, Lila whispers. I need to see the body. Colin nods. 20,000 wasn't cheap, but it'll look clean. Home invasion gone wrong. Happens every day. They move toward the kitchen. I hit record on the phone and step into their path. Evening, I say. Looking for something? Lila screams, drops the bag. Cash spills across my hardwood floor. 20s and 50s, bound in bank bands. Colin reaches for his coat pocket. I shake my head. Don't, I tell him. We're all friends here. Dan, Lila says, voice shaking. I can explain. I'm sure you can, I say. But first, let me show you something. I hold up the burner phone, screen glowing. Hit play. Lila's voice fills the room. Make sure he suffers and begs for mercy. Colin's voice. 20,000 wasn't cheap. but it'll look clean. Their faces go white. Here's what's going to happen, I say. You're going to sit down. We're going to talk. And then you're going to pay for every single thing you've done. They sit on my couch like children called to the principal's office. Lila keeps touching her throat, a nervous habit she's had since college. Colin stares at his hands. The cash lies scattered between us like evidence at a crime scene, which I suppose it is. How long? I ask. Dan, please, Lila starts. How long have you been sleeping with my business partner? Silence. Rain against glass. One of the zip-tied men in the kitchen groans softly. 8 months, Colin says finally. Started last Christmas party. The company party. I was in the bathroom when they disappeared together. Came back to find them by the punch bowl. Both flushed, both guilty. Should have known then. And the money? Insurance policy, Lila says. $500,000, double indemnity for accidental end, which you'd split with Colin. She nods. Tears on her cheeks, but I've seen her rehearse crying in the bathroom mirror. Performance anxiety before dinner parties with my colleagues. I pick up one of the cash bundles. Count it. $4,000, give or take. This was the down payment? First half, Colin admits. Other half when the job was confirmed. I do the math. $8,000 for my life. Less than I paid for my car. There's something else, I say. I pull out my phone, open the voice recording app, hit record. Tell me about the divorce lawyer. Lila's eyes go wide. How did you... Appointment tomorrow at 10, Patricia Sharp, downtown. You scheduled it last week. I lean forward. Before you hired the butchers, which means this wasn't a crime of passion. This was planning. Colin shifts uncomfortably. Dan, we never meant for it to go this far. Really? When exactly did you mean to stop? After you collected the insurance money? After you bought a house together with my passing benefits? Neither answers. I stand up, walk to the window. Their car is still in my driveway. Expensive sedan. Colin's been doing well lately. Now I know why. Here's what happens next, I say, not turning around. I could call the police right now. Attempted homicide, conspiracy, insurance fraud. You'd both do serious time. Hope flickers in Lila's eyes. But I'm not going to do that, I continue. That would be too easy. Too clean. I turn to face them. Instead, I'm going to destroy you. Both of you. Piece by piece. Everything you value, everything you own, everyone you care about. I'm going to take it all away. Dan, Lila pleads. We can work this out. Marriage counseling. Start over. I almost laugh. Start over? You hired men to knock me to passing in my own kitchen. There's no coming back from that. Colin stands up. What do you want? Justice, I say. Real justice. The kind that leaves marks. I walk to my desk. Pull out a yellow legal pad. Start writing. What are you doing? Lila asks. Making a list, I say. Your friends, your jobs, your reputations. Your money, everything that matters to you. I look up. By the time I'm finished, you'll wish I had died tonight. Colin takes a step toward me. I shake my head. I wouldn't, I say. I've already uploaded copies of tonight's recording to 3 different cloud servers. Anything happens to me, and Detective Sergeant Hale gets very interesting emails. Colin stops. Go home, I tell them. Both of you. Enjoy the next few days. They're the last good ones you'll have for a very long time. They leave, take their money, leave their dignity behind. I wait until their taillights disappear, then call 999. Police, I'd like to report a break-in. 3 men. I managed to subdue them, but they're still in my house. 20 minutes later, uniforms arrive. Paramedics, detectives. I tell them the truth, mostly. 3 men broke in. I defended myself, found them with zip ties afterwards. I don't mention the burner phone. Don't mention the cash. Don't mention my wife's betrayal. Not yet. Detective Sergeant Lorna Hale takes my statement. Sharp woman. Observant. She notices things others miss. Military? She asks, looking at how I secured the intruders. SAS, I confirm, long time ago. These men are lucky you showed restraint. I'm not a butcher, I say. Never was. She nods, makes a note. Any idea why they targeted your house? I shrug. Wrong place, wrong time. The lie comes easily. Truth is harder to swallow. After everyone leaves, I sit in my kitchen and plan. Lila thinks she's clever. Colin thinks he's smooth. They have no idea what's coming. I pull out my laptop, start researching. Patricia Sharp, divorce lawyer. Expensive, ruthless. Specializes in high net worth separations where one spouse wants to disappear the other. I make a note to pay her a visit. Then I open Colin's employee file. He's been skimming from client accounts. Small amounts, hard to trace. But I know where to look. Another note. By dawn, I have 17 pages of plans. Legal maneuvers, financial traps, social warfare. Lila wanted me dead. Instead, I'm going to teach her what dying feels like. Tuesday morning, I call in sick. First time in 3 years. My supervisor sounds concerned. I tell him it's just stress from the break-in, which is true in a way. I drive downtown to Patricia Sharp's office. Glass tower, marble lobby, everything designed to intimidate. I wait in the parking garage until Lila arrives. She's early, nervous, keeps checking her phone. I follow her inside, stay 3 floors below. When the elevator doors close, I take the stairs. 12 flights, easy work compared to Welsh mountains with full pack. Sharp's office is on the 14th floor. I take 15, then walk down. Corporate directory in the hallway tells me everything I need to know. Divorce, custody, asset protection, the full menu of matrimonial warfare. I find a coffee shop across the street. Order black coffee, take a window table. Wait. Lila emerges 90 minutes later. She looks relieved, confident. She thinks she's winning. I give her time to drive away, then cross the street. I'd like to see Miss Sharp, I tell the receptionist. It's about the Mercer consultation. 20 minutes later, I'm sitting across from Patricia Sharp. 60-something, silver hair, eyes like surgical steel. Mr. Mercer, she says, this is unusual. Your wife indicated you weren't aware of her intentions. I'm aware now, I say. What did she tell you? Sharp checks her notes. History of domestic violence, financial misuse, concerns for her safety. I nod. Show me. She slides a folder across her desk. Photographs, police reports, medical records, all fabricated. The photos show bruises on Lila's arms, her face, professional work, makeup, lighting, camera angles. The police reports are from different jurisdictions, different dates. The medical records list injuries I never inflicted. Impressive, I say. How long did this take to prepare? Sharp's eyes narrow. Mr. Mercer, if you're here to threaten, I'm here to offer you better evidence, I interrupt. I pull out my phone, show her the recording from last night. Hit play, Lila's voice. Make sure he suffers and begs for mercy. Colin's voice. 20,000 wasn't cheap, but it'll look clean. Sharp's face doesn't change, but her pen stops moving. I could take this to the police, I continue. Attempted homicide, insurance fraud, perjury. Your client would do 15 years minimum. What do you want? She asks. Your services, I say. Not for divorce, for something else. I slide a business card across her desk. Forensic accounting, asset investigation, corporate fraud. I want you to help me find where my wife hid our money, I say. All of it. Every account, every investment, every asset she thinks I don't know about. Sharp studies the card, studies me. My rate is $500 per hour, she says finally. Bill me, I tell her. I'm about to be very wealthy. That afternoon, I meet Lila for coffee. Public place, witnesses. I play the role of confused husband willing to work things out. I've been thinking, I tell her, about us. About what's broken. She reaches across the table, touches my hand. I'm so glad, Dan. I was hoping, I want to try counseling, I say. But first, we need to be completely honest with each other. Hope blooms in her eyes. She thinks I don't know. Thinks last night was just a burglary. Terrible timing. I'll do anything, she says. I pull out a legal document. This is a financial disclosure agreement. We both list all our assets, all our debts. Clean slate. She hesitates. Is this really necessary? Trust has to start somewhere, I say. Besides, we're married. We should know where we stand. She signs. Doesn't read the fine print. Never does. The document gives me access to her accounts for reconciliation purposes. Legal authority to investigate any discrepancies. What she doesn't know is that Patricia Sharp drafted it. Every clause, every comma, every trap. There's one more thing, I say. I want to separate our finances temporarily, just while we work things out. Nothing permanent. Dan, I don't think Trust exercise, I interrupt. You manage your money, I manage mine. If counseling works, we combine them again. If not, she nods reluctantly, signs another document. This one triggers automatic asset freezes if either party attempts to transfer more than £5,000 without written consent. Lila thinks she's playing chess. I'm playing something else entirely. Walking back to my car, I text Patricia Sharp. Phase 1 complete, begin asset search. Then I call DS Hale. Detective, this is Dan Mercer, the break-in last night. I found something you should see. Wednesday evening, airport hotel car park. I'm sitting in my car 50 meters away watching through binoculars. Lila arrives first, parks next to the service entrance, checks her phone. Nervous energy, shifting in her seat. Colin pulls up 5 minutes later. Different car this time, rental. He's learning to be careful. They don't get out immediately, talking through windows, planning, coordinating. Zoe Pike arrives last. Lila's best friend since university. Red BMW, designer everything. Confidence like armor. She's carrying a briefcase. I adjust the focus. Zoe's the organizer. Always has been. When Lila wanted to redecorate the house, Zoe found the contractors. When Lila wanted to change jobs, Zoe made the connections. When Lila wanted me dead, Zoe found the butchers. They meet between the cars. Quick handoff. Briefcase from Zoe to Colin. Envelope from Colin to Lila. Professional, efficient. I start recording with my phone, but they're too far away for audio. Need to get closer. I slip out of my car, move through the rows of vehicles. Hotel guests coming and going provide perfect cover. Business travelers, families with luggage, nobody paying attention. 20 meters away, I find a van with tinted windows. Perfect blind. Now I can hear them. Police asked questions, Lila is saying, about the break-in. They said it was unusual, 3 men subduing like that. Dan's got training, Colin replies. Military background, they know that. Still, Zoe interrupts. We need to accelerate the timeline. The longer we wait, the more risk. She opens her briefcase. Cash inside, but something else too. Documents. What's that? Lila asks. Insurance paperwork, Zoe says. I had a friend in claims run the numbers. Even without accidental end, you're looking at 200,000 base. And if it's self-destruction? Colin asks. Nothing, Zoe says. Policy excludes self-damage for first 2 years. So we're back to accidental, Lila concludes. Or domestic violence, Zoe suggests. Self-defense gone wrong. You fighting back after years of misuse. She pulls out the photographs Patricia Sharp showed me. The fake bruises, the staged injuries. I still have the medical records, Zoe continues. Dr. Williams owed me a favor, backdated everything to look like pattern of escalation. Colin examines the photos. These are good, professional. Theater background, Zoe says. Makeup, lighting, storytelling. It's all about selling the narrative. A chill runs down my spine. This isn't impulsive. This is systematic, planned. They've been building my grave for months. When? Lila asks. This weekend, Zoe says. Friday night. You call 999 hysterical. Tell them Dan attacked you, you fought back. Grabbed the kitchen knife in self-defense. What about the break-in? Colin asks. Police will connect it. No connection, Zoe says. Different MO. Random crime versus domestic violence. Happens every day. They're wrapping up. Time to move. I circle back to my car, drive to the hotel entrance. Wait. They emerge separately. Lila first, looking rattled but determined. Then Colin, confident, swinging keys. Finally, Zoe, Ice Queen, walking to her BMW like she owns the world. I follow Zoe. She drives to an upscale wine bar in the city center, meets another woman, blonde, expensive clothes, familiar face, doctor, Sarah Williams, Lila's physician, the one who backdated everything. They sit in a corner booth, order champagne, celebrating. I find a table across the room, order dinner, watch them toast my impending homicide. My phone buzzes. Text from DS Hale. Can you come in tomorrow? More questions about the break-in. I text back. Of course. What time? 10 a.m. Bring any additional evidence you might have found. I smile. Delete the text. Start typing a new message to Patricia Sharp. Need criminal referral. Conspiracy, fraud, attempted homicide. Best prosecutor in the city. Money no object. Her reply comes immediately. I know someone. When do you need them? Tomorrow. By Thursday morning, I have lawyers, private investigators, and forensic accountants all working the same case. Lila thinks she's hunting one man. She's about to discover she's fighting an army. Thursday, Port Authority offices. I'm walking Colin through the Hensley shipping manifest when D.S. Hale calls. Mr. Mercer, I'm afraid we have a problem. I excuse myself, step into the hallway. What kind of problem, detective? We received an anonymous tip this morning. Someone claiming you hired the men who broke into your house. Ice in my veins. That's ridiculous. I agree, Hale says, but I have to follow up. Can you account for your whereabouts last Monday evening? Before the break-in? Monday. The day Lila made her first payment to the butchers. I was at the office until 7, I tell her. Then dinner at home with my wife. We watched television. Your wife can confirm this? Of course. The lie comes smoothly. Lila will never admit she was out making homicide arrangements. One more thing, Hale continues. The tip mentioned a specific amount. 20,000 pounds. Mean anything to you? My blood pressure spikes. Someone's talking. One of the butchers, maybe, or someone else who knows about the money. Detective, I say, someone's trying to frame me for my own attempted homicide. I think you should look very carefully at who benefits from discrediting me. Already ahead of you, she says. We're investigating all angles. After she hangs up, I find Colin in the conference room, studying shipping routes. Problem? He asks. Police, I say. Someone's stirring up trouble. Colin's eyes flick away from mine. Guilty tell. He knows something. What aren't you telling me? I ask. Nothing, he says, but his voice wavers. Just concerned about the investigation. Bad for business. I sit across from him, lean forward. Colin, we've been partners for 8 years. If something's bothering you, just say it. He fidgets with his pen. Classic displacement behavior, stress response. It's probably nothing, he says finally. But Lila called me yesterday. She was upset about the break-in, asked if I thought you were handling it well. What did you tell her? That you seemed fine, professional. But what? She seemed to think you were acting differently, distant, like you were hiding something. The irony is staggering. She's plotting my end and worried I'm acting suspicious. Marriage counseling, I tell him. We're working through some issues. Colin nods, but something's still bothering him. He keeps glancing at his phone. Expecting a call? I ask. Client meeting, he says. This afternoon. Big contract. Another lie. Colin's tells are easy to read once you know them. Left eyebrow twitches when he's nervous. Touches his watch when he's lying. Both happening now. I make a mental note to have him followed. Well, I say, standing up. Let's finish these manifests. Don't want to keep your client waiting. That afternoon, I watch Colin leave the office at 3:30. He drives to a different hotel. Cheaper this time. Budget chain on the industrial side of town. I follow at a distance, park across the street. Same routine as before. Wait, watch, record. Colin goes inside. 10 minutes later, a man in a cheap suit joins him. Not one of the original butchers, someone new. This meeting lasts 20 minutes. Colin comes out alone, looking worried. I follow the cheap suit. He drives to a betting shop, then a pawn shop, then a council estate on the wrong side of the river. Small-time criminal, desperate. Exactly the kind of person who'd take a contract eliminating for quick money. My phone rings. Zoe Pike. Dan, she says, I hope you don't mind me calling directly. Lila gave me your number. Of course not, I say. How can I help? I'm concerned about Lila. She's been so stressed since the break-in. I was wondering if we could meet for coffee. Friends supporting friends? That's thoughtful of you, I tell her. When were you thinking? Tomorrow afternoon? There's a lovely cafe near my office. I know the one. Upscale, discreet, perfect for private conversations. See you then, I say. After she hangs up, I call Patricia Sharp. How's the asset search progressing? I ask. Interesting findings, she says. Your wife's been very busy. Offshore accounts, property investments, cryptocurrency. She's moved nearly 300,000 pounds in the last 6 months. 300,000. That's most of our savings. Money I thought was sitting safely in joint accounts. There's more, Patricia continues. She's been taking loans against the house, second mortgage, home equity line of credit. Total exposure is close to 400,000. She's been borrowing against our home? All legitimate. Your signatures on file. Forged signatures. That would be for the police to determine, Patricia says carefully. But yes, the handwriting analysis would be illuminating. I hang up and sit in my car watching the council estate where the cheap suit disappeared. Everything's accelerating. They're not just planning to eliminate me anymore. They're planning to bankrupt me first. But they've made one crucial mistake. They think I'm still playing defense. Time to show them what offense looks like. Friday morning, I'm at the bank before it opens. First customer through the door. I need to speak with your fraud prevention department, I tell the manager. Urgent matter regarding my accounts. 30 minutes later, I'm sitting across from Janet Morrison, head of financial crimes. Sharp suit, sharper mind. She's seen every scam, every scheme, every way people try to steal money. I show her the forged signatures on the loan documents, the unauthorized transfers, the cryptocurrency purchases made with joint account funds. This is substantial, she says, studying the paperwork. How long has this been going on? 6 months, that I know of, possibly longer, she makes notes. We'll need to freeze all affected accounts pending investigation. What about my wife's access? Suspend it immediately. She'll receive notification this afternoon. Perfect timing. Lila's planning my homicide for tonight. By then, she won't have access to a single penny. From the bank, I drive to the courthouse. Patricia Sharp is waiting in the civil filing office. Emergency injunction, she explains, based on suspected financial fraud. Prevents any further asset transfers until the matter is resolved. The paperwork is comprehensive. Every account, every investment, every valuable asset we own, locked down tight. How long before she knows? I ask. Court served the papers this afternoon. She'll receive them around 4 o'clock. By 4 o'clock, I'll be somewhere safe. Let her explain to Zoe and Colin why the money's unavailable for homicide contracts. My phone buzzes. Text message from unknown number. Package delivered to your office. Check your desk. I drive back to work, heart pounding. The office is busy, normal Friday afternoon energy. Nobody looks suspicious. At my desk, I find a manila envelope. No return address. Inside, photographs. Me following Colin. Me watching the hotel meeting. Me sitting in the wine bar photographing Zoe and Dr. Williams. Someone's been following me, following them. The last photograph shows me talking to Patricia Sharp. Yesterday, outside the coffee shop. A note is clipped to the photos. Surveillance is a two-way game. Back off, or everyone sees these. I study the images, looking for clues. Professional quality, expensive equipment, long-range lens work. Whoever took these has serious resources. My desk phone rings. Internal call. Dan, it's reception. There's someone here to see you. Says it's personal. Name, Zoe Pike. I check my watch. 3:15. She's early for our coffee meeting. Send her up, I say. Zoe enters my office like she owns it. Designer dress, confidence radiating from every pore. She looks around, taking inventory. Nice space, she says. I can see why Colin enjoys working here. She settles into the chair across from my desk, crosses her legs. Everything calculated to project control. I thought we were meeting for coffee, I say. Change of plans. She pulls out her phone, shows me the screen. Text conversation between her and Lila. Bank called. Accounts frozen. All of them? Everything. They mentioned fraud investigation. What do we do now? Handle Dan. Tonight. No more delays. Zoe puts the phone away. Interesting timing, don't you think? Lila's accounts get frozen the same day someone's been photographing our meetings. I lean back in my chair. I have no idea what you're talking about. Of course you don't. She opens her purse, pulls out a tablet, shows me bank transaction records, transfers from our joint accounts to offshore entities. Recognize these? She asks. I study the screen. The transactions look legitimate, my signatures properly notarized, but I never authorized any of them. Very good forgeries, I tell her. Not forgeries, she says. These are real. Your signatures, your account access, your authorization. She swipes to the next screen. Security camera footage from the bank. Me at the teller window. Me signing papers. Me authorizing transfers. Except it's not me. The man in the footage looks like me. Same height, same build, same hair. But something's off. The way he moves. The way he holds his shoulders. Professional actor, Zoe explains. Theater background, like me. Studied your mannerisms for weeks. Perfect mimicry. When? Every Friday for the last 2 months. While you were at work, Dan was at the bank, moving money. The scope of their planning is staggering. They've been stealing from me for months while planning my homicide. Why tell me this? I ask. Because tonight ends it, she says. One way or another. Either you cooperate or... She doesn't finish the threat. Doesn't need to. What do you want? Simple, she says. Come home tonight. Act normal. When Lila attacks you, don't fight back. Let it happen. You want me to let her eliminate me. I want you to let her defend herself, Zoe corrects, after you attack her, after you lose control. After years of misuse finally boil over, she shows me more photographs. Lila with fake bruises, medical reports documenting injuries I never inflicted, police reports describing incidents that never happened. The narrative is already written, she continues. Abusive husband finally crosses the line. Wife fights back in self-defense. Tragic but understandable. And if I refuse, the bank footage gets released. Along with documentation showing you've been embezzling from client accounts. She produces another folder. Colin's been very helpful in creating the paper trail. Colin, my partner, my friend. He's been skimming, I say. With your authorization, she replies, all properly documented. Your signatures, your approval codes, your electronic authorizations. The same actor, the same forgeries. They've been setting me up for months. So my choices are end or prison. End or dishonor, she corrects. Though I suppose the end result is the same. I stand up, walk to the window. The city spreads out below. Normal people living normal lives, going home to families who love them. There is a third option, I say without turning around. I'm listening. I could eliminate you right now, make it look like an accident, office violence. Stress finally got to me. You could try. Her voice is steady. No fear. But I'm not here alone. I turn around. She's holding her phone, finger hovering over a number. One call, she says. My colleagues know exactly where I am and how long I plan to be here. Anything happens to me, you become suspect number one. Colleagues? The same professionals who handled the bank impersonation. Very talented people. Very expensive people. I sit back down. How much? Excuse me? How much did this cost? The planning, the actor, the forged documents, the butchers. What's the total budget for eliminating me? She considers the question. 200,000, give or take. Most of which came from my own accounts. Ironic, isn't it? Brilliant, I admit. Truly brilliant. You've thought of everything. I try to be thorough. Except one thing. Her eyes narrow. Which is? I pull out my phone, show her the recording app. Red button, currently recording. This entire conversation, I say. Conspiracy to commit homicide, fraud, embezzlement, blackmail, all on record. She lunges for the phone. I'm faster. Military training versus yoga classes. The phone slides across the floor, but it doesn't matter. The recording uploads automatically to cloud storage. You fool, she hisses. Professional fool, I correct. Ex-military. Trained for this kind of work. I stand up, straighten my tie. Here's what happens next. You're going to call Lila. Tell her the operation's blown. Tell her to run. Tonight. She'll never leave without the money. Then she'll go to prison, I say. Your choice. Zoe stares at me for a long moment, calculating, weighing options. You think you've won, she says finally. You have no idea what you're dealing with. Enlighten me. She stands, smooths her dress. This isn't over, Dan. Not even close. Yes, I tell her. It is. She leaves without another word. I wait 5 minutes, then call DS Hale. Detective, I need to report additional crimes. Fraud, conspiracy, attempted homicide. I have recordings. How soon can you be here? On my way. Friday evening. Lila's company party at the Riverside Hotel. Annual client appreciation event. 200 guests, open bar, speeches about quarterly earnings. I wasn't invited. Marital problems, she told her colleagues. Too awkward, but I'm here anyway. The service corridor runs behind the ballroom. Kitchen staff, cleaning crews, maintenance workers, invisible people doing invisible work. I'm wearing coveralls, carrying a toolbox. Just another technician fixing something that's broken. The AV control room is on the second floor, overlooking the main ballroom. Two teenagers running sound and video. They barely look up when I enter. Maintenance, I tell them, checking the projector connections. They nod, go back to their phones. I plug a thumb drive into the control computer. Custom software, courtesy of Patricia Sharp's tech consultant. Military-grade encryption meets civilian presentation software. The upload takes 90 seconds. Financial records, bank transfers, hotel receipts, text messages. Everything carefully edited, nothing illegal shown. Just the financial trail of infidelity and fraud. No nudity, no graphic content. Nothing that would traumatize the audience. Just numbers, dates, account transfers. Hotel bills charged to company credit cards. Professional destruction. At 8:30, Lila takes the stage, polished, confident, working the crowd like a politician. She's wearing the dress I bought her for our anniversary. Red silk, diamond earrings, wedding ring catching the spotlight. "Thank you all for coming," she begins. "This year has been incredible for our company. Record growth, new partnerships, exciting opportunities ahead." The audience applauds. Clients, colleagues, competitors, everyone who matters in her professional world. "I want to talk tonight about trust," she continues, "about building relationships that last, about integrity in everything we do." I almost laugh. The irony is perfect. She clicks her remote for the first slide. Instead of quarterly earnings, the screen displays a bank transfer, £50,000 from our joint account to an offshore entity in the Cayman Islands. Date stamp, 3 weeks ago. Lila's smile freezes. She clicks again. Another transfer, another date. The theft of our life savings, laid out in corporate presentation format. Murmurs ripple through the audience. Someone calls out, "Technical difficulties?" "Just a moment," Lila says, trying to maintain composure. She signals the AV crew, but they're as confused as everyone else. Click, hotel receipt, champagne, room service, 2 guests. Colin's name on the bill. Click, text message thread. Lila to Colin. "Can't wait to be free of him." Colin to Lila. "Soon, after the insurance money comes through." The murmurs become whispers. Whispers become conversations. Conversations become accusations. I recognize faces in the crowd. Board members, major clients, industry reporters. Click, medical records, the fake bruises, the staged injuries. But now, beside each photo, the real medical examiner's report. No fractures, no defensive wounds, makeup and theatrical blood. "Turn it off," Lila shouts at the AV crew. "Turn it off now!" But they can't. The system's locked. Password protected. The presentation will run for exactly 12 minutes. Every slide, every damning piece of evidence. Click. Security footage from the bank. The actor impersonating me. Side-by-side comparison with my real signature. Professional handwriting analysis highlighting the differences. Someone in the audience shouts, "Call the police!" Another voice, "Insurance fraud." A third, "She's been stealing." Lila abandons the stage, pushes through the crowd toward the exit. But there are reporters here. Industry journalists. People with cameras, with questions, with deadlines to meet. Flashbulbs pop, microphones thrust forward. "Mrs. Mercer, can you comment on these allegations? Is it true you hired someone to impersonate your husband? What about the attempted homicide conspiracy?" She reaches the ballroom doors. Colin's waiting there, pale and shaking. "We need to leave," he tells her. "Now." They push through the reporters, through the lobby, into the parking lot. I'm watching from the service entrance, recording everything on my phone. Lila's career is over. Her reputation destroyed. Her professional network permanently poisoned. But I'm not finished. As their car pulls away, I make 3 phone calls. First, to the insurance company. Anonymous tip about possible fraud. They'll investigate, find the forged medical records, cancel the policy. Second, to Colin's professional licensing board. Another anonymous tip about embezzlement and client account manipulation. They'll launch their own investigation. Third, to the tax authority. Questions about unreported offshore income and suspicious financial transfers. By Monday morning, they'll both be unemployed and under investigation by multiple government agencies. My phone buzzes. Text from DS Hale. "Saw the news. Are you safe?" I text back. "Perfectly safe. At home. Doors locked." Which is true, I'm safe. Protected by legal papers, court orders, and electronic evidence. They're the ones who should be worried now. Saturday afternoon, Omar Rafi's scrapyard on the industrial side of town. 50 acres of twisted metal, rusted cars, and broken machinery. I saved Omar's life in Helmand Province, 2003. Taliban ambush, both legs shattered, bleeding out in the desert. I carried him 3 miles to the extraction point. He's never forgotten. Dan, he says, embracing me like a brother. I saw the news. Your wife. Complicated situation, I tell him. Come. We talk. We walk through the maze of stacked cars, past cranes and compactors, to his office trailer. Simple space. Tea, prayer rug, photographs of his family. You look different, he says. Harder. I study my reflection in his window. He's right. Something's changed. The last week has stripped away layers I didn't know I was wearing. They tried to eliminate me, I tell him. My wife, my business partner, her friends, hired professionals? Omar nods. And now? Now I'm finishing what they started. He pours tea, considers his words carefully. In Middle East, you saved my life. Showed mercy when you could have left me. Different situation. Is it? He sits across from me. Revenge is easy, brother. Mercy is hard. Which man do you want to be? Before I can answer, my phone rings. Unknown number. Dan Mercer? Speaking. This is James Crawford, Daily Telegraph. I'm calling about the allegations against your wife. Would you like to comment? I hang up. The phone rings again immediately. Different reporter, same questions. Omar watches me decline the third call. Famous now, he observes. Infamous. What's your plan? I tell him. All of it. The legal maneuvers, the financial traps, the public humiliation still to come. Everything I've built over the past week. When I finish, he's quiet for a long time. They tried to eliminate you, he says finally. I understand the anger. But this path, what about it? This path changes you permanently. Once you cross certain lines, you can't cross back. Maybe I don't want to cross back. He reaches across the table, grips my shoulder. The Dan I knew in Middle East, he would find another way. That Dan was naive. That Dan was good. We sit in silence. Outside, the sound of metal being crushed, cars being compacted into cubes. Destruction as business model. My phone buzzes. Text message from Colin. We need to talk. Alone. Tonight. I show Omar the message. Trap, he asks. Obviously. But you'll go anyway. Yes. Why? Because I want to see how far they're willing to go. Omar shakes his head. And how far are you willing to go? The question hangs between us. I don't answer because I don't know. The man who went to sleep peacefully a week ago is gone. The man sitting here now is someone else entirely. Someone harder, someone colder, someone willing to destroy lives as methodically as Omar crushes cars. Be careful, brother, Omar says. Victory without honor is just another kind of defeat. That evening, I meet Colin at an abandoned warehouse near the docks. Industrial area, no witnesses, perfect place for final conversations. He's already there when I arrive, pacing, nervous, tool in his waistband, poorly concealed. Dan, he says. Thanks for coming. Last chance for honesty? Something like that. I keep my distance, hands visible. What do you want, Colin? I want to make a deal. I'm listening. The recordings you made, the evidence you collected, we want it all. Every copy, every backup, every file. In exchange for, we disappear, tonight, leave the country, you never see us again. And if I refuse? He pulls out the tool, holds it casually, not quite pointing it at me. Then we handle this differently. You're going to shoot me in an abandoned warehouse? That's your plan? Self-defense, he says. You lured me here, threatened me. I had no choice. Who's going to believe that? Lila will. She'll testify that you've been violent, unstable, the break-in pushed you over the edge. The same narrative they've been building for months. Even now, even after everything's been exposed, they're still playing the same game. There's a problem with your plan, I tell him, which is, you're not a butcher, Colin, you're an accountant. A thief, a fraud, an adulterer, but not a butcher. His hand shakes slightly. The tool wavers. You don't know what I'm capable of. I know exactly what you're capable of. Embezzlement, forgery, conspiracy, but homicide? Look at your hand. He looks down. The tool is trembling. You can't even hold it steady, I continue. You think you can pull the trigger? I don't have a choice. Everyone has choices, Colin. You chose to sleep with my wife. You chose to steal my money. You chose to hire butchers. Every step of the way, you had choices. I take a step closer. But this choice is different. This one you can't take back. Stay where you are. Shoot me or don't, I tell him. But stop pretending you're something you're not. The tool drops to his side. He's crying now. 8 years of friendship reduced to this. I never wanted it to go this far, he says. It was supposed to be simple. Divorce, split the assets, start over. But simple wasn't enough for Zoe. He nods. She said we were thinking too small. Why settle for half when we could have everything? And my life? What was that worth? Insurance money, he says quietly. Plus the business, the house, the investments. We could have been set for life. I almost feel sorry for him. Almost. Instead, I pull out my phone, show him the recording app, still running. This conversation, Colin, everything you just said, it's all being recorded. His face goes white. You fool. Professional fool, I remind him. You should have remembered that. I turn and walk away. Leave him standing there with his useless tool and his useless threats and his useless tears. Behind me, I hear him shout, "This isn't over, Dan. You hear me? This isn't over." But it is over. Has been since the moment they'd decided I was worth more dead than alive. Now they're about to learn what I'm worth angry. Sunday evening, private members club in the financial district. Old money, older traditions, leather chairs, and whispered conversations. Zoe suggested the venue. Neutral ground, she called it. Somewhere civilized people could have civilized discussions. I arrive early, choose a table near the window. Rain starting again, drumming against glass like impatient fingers. She walks in 20 minutes late. Power play. Make me wait, establish dominance. Except I'm not the same man who would have fallen for such games a week ago. Dan, she says, settling into the chair across from me. You look tired. Busy week. I imagine. She orders wine, expensive bottle. Everything about Zoe is expensive. I assume you've reconsidered our conversation? Which part? The part where you cooperate and everyone walks away? I lean back in my chair. That offer's expired. Has it? She pulls out her phone, shows me a photograph. Drew, my 16-year-old nephew, walking out of school, backpack slung over his shoulder. Nice boy, she says. Smart, athletic, bright future ahead of him. Ice forms in my chest. Leave him out of this. That's entirely up to you. Another photo. Drew getting into a car. The driver's face isn't visible, but the message is clear. You're threatening a child. I'm protecting my interests, she corrects. Drew is leverage. Insurance. As long as you cooperate, he stays safe. What do you want? Everything. All the recordings, all the evidence, all the legal maneuvers. Cancel the court orders, drop the investigations, make it all disappear. And if I do, we take our money and leave, clean slate for everyone. Except Drew still knows too much. Drew knows nothing. He delivered a package thinking it was a favor for his uncle. Innocent mistake. The package, my safe. They have my safe. What was in it? I ask. Financial documents, account numbers, safety deposit box keys. She smiles. Everything we needed to complete the transfer of your assets. You stole my nephew's innocence to steal my money. I borrowed his trust to secure my future, she corrects. Different perspective. The waiter brings her wine. She tastes it, nods approval, settles back in her chair like she's won. You have until tomorrow, she says. Noon. Meet me at the same warehouse where Colin met you last night. You were watching. I watch everything. She pulls out another phone. Different model. This conversation, for instance. She's recording me. Has been since she sat down. Insurance, she explains. In case you try something creative. I nod, pretend to consider her terms. Drew really doesn't know anything? Nothing that matters. And you'll leave him alone? Completely. What about Lila? What about her? She's still my wife, legally. I have certain obligations. Zoe laughs. Touching. After everything she's done, you still feel responsible. Habit, I suppose. I pull out my own phone. Check the time. Can I have until tomorrow evening? Need time to contact my lawyers? Noon, she repeats. Not a minute later. Fine. I stand to leave. She grabs my wrist. Dan, she says. I know what you're thinking. Some clever plan to turn this around. Don't. You're out of moves. Am I? Drew's safety depends on your cooperation. Remember that. I leave without another word. Walk to my car, drive 3 blocks, park in an alley. Pull out my phone, call DS Hale. Detective, I just recorded someone threatening my nephew's life. How quickly can you get protective custody arranged? How immediate is the threat? Very. Where are you now? Financial district. Just left the Merchants Club. Stay put. Units are rolling. 20 minutes later, 2 unmarked cars arrive. Plainclothes officers, professional demeanor, no dramatics. Mr. Mercer? Detective Inspector Sarah Cross, Child Protection Unit. Tell me about the threat. I play her the recording. Zoe's voice, clear and incriminating. Drew is leverage. Insurance. As long as you cooperate, he stays safe. Who is this woman? Zoe Pike. She's part of the conspiracy to homicide me. Now she's using my nephew to force my cooperation. D.I. Cross makes notes. Where's Drew now? Home, I hope. With my sister. We'll have officers there in 10 minutes. Your nephew will be safe. What about tomorrow? She wants to meet at noon. You'll meet her, but you won't be alone. She'll run if she sees police. She won't see us, Cross assures me. We're very good at staying invisible. That night, I call my sister Jennifer. Tell her Drew's in protective custody, temporary measure, nothing to worry about. Dan, what the hell is going on? Lila tried to have me eliminated. Now her friends are threatening Drew. Silence, then. Jesus Christ, Dan, I saw the news, but I thought what? I don't know, thought it was exaggerated, media nonsense. It's all true, Jen. Every word. What do you need from me? Keep Drew safe, trust the police, this'll be over soon. How soon? Tomorrow. Monday morning, I drive to the warehouse. Empty industrial street, perfect for final confrontations. I park 50 meters away, walk the rest of the distance. The building is exactly as I left it. Broken windows, rusted metal, decades of neglect. Zoe's car is already there. So is Colin's. So is a third vehicle I don't recognize. I check my watch. 11:58. Time to finish this. I walk into the warehouse empty-handed. No weapons, no recording equipment, no backup plans. At least none that Zoe can see. She's standing in the center of the space with Colin and 2 men I don't recognize. Professional types, expensive suits, calm expressions, the kind of people who solve problems permanently. Dan, Zoe says. Right on time. Where's my safe? She gestures to a corner where my home safe sits open, contents scattered across a makeshift table. Documents, cash, jewelry, everything I thought was secure. Quite a collection, she says. Offshore account numbers, safety deposit box keys, cryptocurrency wallets. You've been busy hiding assets. Those aren't mine. Handwritten notes in your writing say otherwise. She holds up sheets of paper covered in my handwriting. Account numbers, passwords, transfer instructions, more forgeries, more evidence manufactured to frame me. Very thorough, I admit. I pride myself on attention to detail. Colin steps forward. He looks terrible, haunted, guilty. Dan, I'm sorry about this, about all of it. No, you're not. I am. I never wanted it to go this far. But it has gone this far, one of the professionals says. American accent, military bearing. So we deal with reality, not regrets. And reality is, I ask? You disappear, Zoe explains. Tonight, permanently. These gentlemen will handle the details. What about Drew? Safe and sound. As long as there are no complications. I look around the warehouse. High windows, multiple exits, plenty of cover. If this goes bad, there are options. But I don't need options. I have something better. I pull out my phone, check the time. 12:05. You're late, I tell Zoe. For what? Your arrest. The warehouse doors explode inward. Tactical units, armed response, the full show. Laser sights dancing across the walls, commands shouted through megaphones. Armed police. Nobody move. The 2 professionals reach for their weapons. Bad decision. They're face down in zip ties before their hands clear leather. Colin drops to his knees, hands up, surrendering immediately. Zoe doesn't move, doesn't run. Just stands there, watching her perfect plan collapse. You wore a wire, she says. I didn't need to. I pull out my phone, show her the emergency app. 1 button, direct connection to police dispatch. I called them from the car, I explain. Told them where to find evidence of conspiracy to commit homicide. D.S. Hale approaches, body armor over her suit, all business. Miss Pike, she says. You're under arrest for conspiracy to commit homicide, kidnapping, extortion, and fraud. The formal caution follows. Rights, warnings, legal procedures. All very civilized. The boy, I tell Hale. My nephew. Is he safe? Protective custody. Safe and sound. Colin is crying as they cuff him. I'm sorry, Dan. I'm so sorry. Save it for the judge, I tell him. The two professionals turn out to be ex-military contractors, expensive talent with impressive resumes and flexible morals. They'll do serious time. Zoe remains silent. Even in handcuffs, she's calculating, looking for angles, for leverage, for ways to turn this around. Where's Lila? I ask Hale. Flight risk. We're coordinating with border control. But I know Lila. She won't run, she'll fight right to the end. My phone rings. Speaking of which. Dan. Lila's voice, shaky and desperate. I heard about Zoe, about Colin. Where are you? Home, our home. Please, can we talk? Nothing to talk about. There is. So much, I can explain everything. Already heard your explanations. Not from me, not the real reasons. She's crying now. Real tears or performance, I can't tell anymore. Don't care anymore. I'll be there in an hour, I tell her. Thank you, Dan. Thank you for giving me a chance. I hang up and turn to Hale. My wife wants to confess. Are you sure that's wise? Meeting her alone? I won't be alone, I tell her. You'll be listening. Home looks different now. Same furniture, same photographs, same memories hanging on the walls. But everything's poisoned, contaminated by betrayal. Lila is sitting at the kitchen table when I arrive. Our kitchen table where we've eaten thousands of meals together. Where we've argued and laughed and planned our future. Where she planned my passing. Dan, she says, standing up. I wasn't sure you'd come. Neither was I. She looks terrible. No makeup, hair unwashed, clothes wrinkled. The confident woman from the gala is gone. This is someone else, someone desperate. Can I get you anything? Coffee? Tea? Just talk. She sits back down. I remain standing. Physical advantage, psychological distance. I know how this looks, she begins. I know what you must think of me. Do you? You think I'm a monster, a cold-blooded butcher who married you for money, aren't you? No, she looks up at me, eyes red from crying. I'm just a coward who got in over her head. Explain. It started with Colin, the affair. I was lonely, Dan. You worked so much, traveled so much. He was there and you weren't. So you decided to eliminate me? No. God, no. That was never the plan. She stands up, paces to the window, looking out at our garden, the roses we planted together, the life we built together. I wanted a divorce, she continues. Clean, simple, civilized. But then Zoe got involved. Zoe. She said divorce was stupid, said I was thinking too small. Why settle for half when I could have everything? So you hired butchers. Zoe hired butchers. I just went along with it. You sent them instructions. Make sure he suffers and begs for mercy. Zoe wrote those messages. She had my phone, said it would be more convincing if they came from me. I study her face. Looking for tells, for signs of deception. She's either telling the truth or she's become a much better liar. The insurance policy? Zoe's idea said it would look suspicious if I didn't have one. The fake medical records? I never wanted those. I told Zoe it was too much, too elaborate, but she said we needed documentation, evidence of misuse. The bruises? Makeup. Zoe did it herself. She has theater training, knows how to make injuries look real. Every answer leads back to Zoe. Every crime, every lie, every betrayal. What about the money? I ask. The offshore accounts, the forged signatures? That was Colin. He said we needed operating capital, money to pay for everything. I trusted him to steal from our joint accounts. I didn't know. I thought he was using his own money. She's back at the table now, head in her hands. I'm not asking you to forgive me, she says. I know I don't deserve that, but I need you to understand. I never wanted you dead. I just wanted out. And the only way out was through homicide? Zoe convinced me it was the only way. She said you'd fight the divorce, drag it through courts, make it expensive and ugly. Said you'd use your military connections to intimidate me. I would never. I know that now. She looks up at me, desperate. But I was scared, Dan, confused. Zoe was so confident, so sure of everything. She made it sound reasonable. Reasonable? Like a business transaction. Remove an obstacle, claim the insurance, start fresh. She never called it homicide. Always called it a solution. The banality of evil. Hannah Arendt wrote about this. How ordinary people convince themselves to do extraordinary things through euphemism and rationalization. Why tell me this now? Because I want to make it right. I'll testify against Zoe, against Colin. Tell the police everything. In exchange for nothing. I don't want anything. I just want to stop lying. She pulls out a folder from her purse. Legal documents. I've already signed these, she says. Divorce papers. I'm not contesting anything. House, business, savings, everything goes to you. I examine the documents. Standard no contest divorce. She keeps nothing except personal belongings. Why? Because I destroyed our marriage. I destroyed your trust. I don't deserve anything you've worked for. What about your debts? The loans against the house? My responsibility. I'll find a way to pay them. How? You lost your job, your reputation. Nobody will hire you. I'll manage. I set the papers aside. There's something you should know. What? Zoe never cared about you. You were just another tool, like Colin, like the butchers. When this was over, she would have disposed of you too. Lila's face goes pale. That's not true. I show her my phone, the recording from yesterday's meeting. Zoe's voice, cold and calculating. Lila's just the face. Once the insurance money comes through, she becomes a liability. She was planning to eliminate you too, I tell her. Make it look like self-destruction. Guilt over eliminating me. Lila listens to the recording twice. Then she vomits into our kitchen sink. When she's finished, she turns to face me. I'm so sorry, Dan, for everything. For the affair, for the lies, for trusting her. I'm so goddamn sorry. I know. Can you ever forgive me? The question hangs between us. 16 years of marriage, 2 miscarriages we grieved together, dreams we shared. Love that was real once before it curdled into something else. I don't know, I tell her honestly. Ask me in 10 years. She nods, accepts the answer. What happens now? Now you call D.S. Hale, tell her everything you told me, on record, under oath. And then? Then you disappear. Change your name, move somewhere far away, start over, become someone else. What about you? I'll be fine. She picks up the phone, dials the number I give her. Detective Hale, this is Lila Mercer. I want to confess. Tuesday afternoon. County courthouse auction yard, gray sky, cold wind, the smell of rain coming. Everything Lila owned is laid out on tables. Jewelry, designer clothes, artwork, furniture. A life reduced to lot numbers and starting bids. Her car sits in the automotive section. Red BMW convertible, barely 2 years old. The car she drove to meet butchers. The car she thought would carry her to a new life with my insurance money. Starting bid, £15,000. Colin's boat is here too. 40-foot sailing yacht, his pride and joy. He used to talk about retiring early, sailing around the Mediterranean with Lila. Now it'll be sold to pay legal fees. Zoe's flat contents are spread across 3 tables. Expensive everything. Designer furniture, original artwork, vintage wine collection, the profits of manipulation and homicide liquidated to pay restitution. I'm not here to bid, just to watch. The auctioneer calls the first lot. Lila's engagement ring, the diamond I saved 6 months to buy 20 years ago, back when I thought love was permanent. Lot 1, ladies and gentlemen, 2-carat diamond solitaire, platinum setting. Independent appraisal values this at £8,000. Do I hear 3? A hand goes up. Dealer, probably, looking for quick profit. 3,000, thank you. Do I hear 4? Another hand. The price climbs steadily. 4, 5, £6,000. Sold for $6,500 to bidder number 47. Gone. 20 years of marriage sold to a stranger for less than half its value. The auction continues. Lila's clothes, her books, her personal effects, everything that defined her identity scattered to the wind. I turn to leave and find her standing behind me. She looks different, thinner, older, worn down by consequences. She's wearing a cheap coat I don't recognize, carrying a single suitcase. Dan, she says, I didn't expect to see you here. Wanted to make sure everything was handled properly. It is. She looks at the auction tables. All of it. Gone. Where will you go? Scotland. My cousin has a bed and breakfast in the Highlands. She needs help with bookkeeping. Good. We stand in awkward silence, watching strangers sort through her possessions. I testified yesterday, she says. Told them everything, about Zoe, about Colin, about all of it. I heard. Zoe tried to blame me, said I was the mastermind, that she was just helping a battered wife escape. Did anyone believe her? Not after they heard the recordings. Your recordings. The auctioneer calls Lot 15, Lila's jewelry box, wooden, handcrafted, a gift from her mother. Lot 15, antique jewelry box, mother of pearl inlay. Do I hear 50 pounds? No bids. Too personal, too specific. Who wants a dead woman's jewelry box? No interest? 40 pounds? 30? Still nothing. 20 pounds to clear? A hand goes up. Elderly woman, probably buying it for a granddaughter. Sold for 20 pounds. Lila wipes her eyes. Mom gave me that when I turned 16. Said it would hold all my treasures. What treasures did it hold? Pictures of us, our wedding, our honeymoon, the ultrasound photos from the babies we lost. The miscarriages. We never talked about them afterward. Too painful, too final. Those pictures, she continues, they're probably still in there. The new owner will throw them away, won't even look at them. Probably. 20 years of memories. Worth 20 pounds? The auctioneer is calling Colin's boat now. Starting bid 30,000. Serious money, serious bidders. It'll sell well. I should go, Lila says. Train leaves in an hour. Lila. She turns back. I'm glad you told the truth. Finally. Too late to matter. It matters. She nods, picks up her suitcase, walks toward the exit. I watch her go. The woman I loved, the woman who tried to have me eliminated, both true, both permanent. She stops at the gate, looks back one last time. Then she's gone. I turn back to the auction. Colin's boat sells for 42,000. Zoe's artwork goes for decent money. The wine collection brings premium prices. My phone buzzes. D.S. Hale. Thought you'd want to know, she says. Sentencing came through this morning. And Zoe Pike, 15 years. Conspiracy to commit homicide, fraud, extortion. Colin Vance, 12 years. Similar charges, but he cooperated. What about the butchers? 8 years each. First offense, showed remorse. Could be out in 5 with good behavior. Justice. Not perfect, but real. They'll all have time to think about their choices. Your wife's testimony helped, Hale continues. Made the difference between conviction and acquittal on the homicide conspiracy charges. She deserved a chance to tell the truth. Generous of you, after everything. Not generous. Necessary? I hang up and watch the auction wind down. Final lots, last chances. The detritus of destroyed lives sold to pay for justice. The auctioneer bangs his gavel. That concludes today's sale. Thank you all for attending. People drift away. Buyers arranging transport for their purchases, dealers calculating profits, life moving forward. I walk to my car, drive to the office. Normal Tuesday afternoon, normal business. The Port Authority contract needs reviewing. Hensley Shipping wants to renegotiate terms. Life goes on. But something's changed. The man who walked into that warehouse 12 days ago was a sufferer. The man walking out is something else, not a hero. Heroes don't destroy people methodically. Heroes don't plan revenge like military campaigns. Not a villain either. Villains don't offer mercy. Don't give second chances. Don't let enemies walk away. Something in between. Something harder. I park at the office, check my reflection in the rearview mirror. Same face, same eyes. But Omar was right. Something's different. Permanent. The old Dan would have called the police immediately. Reported the homicide plot, trusted the system, let lawyers handle everything. The old Dan would have forgiven Lila, found a way to rebuild, to start over, to believe in love again. The old Dan was naive. This Dan understands that some betrayals can't be forgiven. Some trust can't be rebuilt. Some people deserve exactly what they get. This Dan sleeps better at night. My phone rings. Jennifer, my sister. Drew wants to see you, she says. He's been asking about the protective custody, about what happened. What did you tell him? The truth. That bad people threatened him to get to you, that you made sure he was safe. I'll come by tonight. Dan? Yeah? Are you okay? Really okay? I consider the question. Am I okay? My wife tried to have me eliminated. My business partner stole from me. My nephew was threatened by criminals, but they're all in prison or exile now. I'm alive, wealthy, and free. My enemies have been destroyed so completely they'll never recover. I'm fine, I tell Jennifer. Better than fine. You sound different. Different how? Colder, harder. Like the Dan who came back from Middle East, but worse. Maybe that's who I've always been. No, she says firmly. That's who you became. There's a difference. After she hangs up, I sit in my car and think about differences, about choices, about the man I was and the man I am. 16 years ago, I stood at an altar and promised to love, honor, and cherish Lila Mercer, for better or worse, in sickness and in health, till death do us part. Death did part us. Not physical passing, but something deeper. The end of trust, the end of love, the end of the man who could believe in promises. That man is gone, buried under evidence files and court transcripts and auction receipts. This man is what's left. I start the car and drive home. Our house. My house now. Every room holds memories, but memories can be painted over. Memories can be replaced. In the kitchen where masked men waited to eliminate me, I make dinner, simple meal, quick preparation. No ceremony, no sentiment. In the living room where Lila confessed her betrayal, I watch the news. Financial markets, political scandals, other people's disasters. In the bedroom where I woke to whispered threats, I planned tomorrow. Meetings, contracts, ordinary business, normal life, quiet life, safe life. At midnight, exactly 12 days after 3 men broke into my house, I turn off the lights and go to sleep. No dreams, no nightmares, no guilt. Just darkness and the sound of rain against windows, and the knowledge that some battles can only be won by becoming the kind of person who fights to win. In the morning, I'll call Drew. Take him to lunch, answer his questions, help him understand why the world sometimes requires ordinary people to do extraordinary things. In the afternoon, I'll review the Hensley contract, negotiate terms, maximize profits, build the business bigger and stronger than before. In the evening, I'll sit in my garden and watch roses bloom. The roses Lila and I planted together, now growing wild without her careful tending. Beautiful things can survive ugly truths. Sometimes they even grow stronger. The old Dan would have seen poetry in that. Metaphor and meaning and hope for redemption. This Dan just sees roses. The end.